What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. Survivor Season 46, Episode 11. My messy, sweet little friend. A spot in the final six on the line in this episode. So let's just jump right into it. First thing, do just want to say if you do like the videos here, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and drop a like if you like this video talking about Survivor Season 46, episode 11. So we're coming off an emotional episode with another blindside and Tiff going home with an idol in her pocket. That is two straight tribal councils with someone going home with an idol in their pocket. Get back to camp. Kenzie's like, I would have voted with y'all if y'all just told me. After all, it was Kenzie who originally did bring up getting Tiff out and turning on her. Doesn't know what she did to not be included. As she said, was her idea, and now someone else is getting the credit in Maria. Charlie consoles Kenzie. He says, I'll say this, it wasn't my vote. Basically saying that this was Maria orchestrating this vote as she wanted to. Kenzie says she's got to find an idol. So I have a feeling we have an idol hunt coming in the next day with Tiff's idol going out of the game last night. Maria says final five with her, Charlie, Q, Ben, and Liz. So that would mean Venus and Kenzie on the outside. She's riding high and has sights set on the end of the game after last week. Venus tells Kenzie Maria is being so loud about this move and, let everyone else see how big of a threat she is and it'll bite her in the end. With Tiff's idol gone, the next morning, Kenzie says around Q and Maria, well, we should probably start looking for an idol. Maria mouths to Q like, hey, go look for an idol, basically so Venus does not find it or Kenzie. Everyone's looking now. Venus is confident that she knows the island better than anyone else. Says she knows where Raiden and Tiff both found their idols. But Venus does end up finding the idol. Kenzie comes around talking to Venus, and she says that she has came around to liking Venus and kind of trusting her a little bit. Says she's the only one that hasn't lied to her in this game so far. Venus is doing a bad job though of fake idol hunting. She's like barely like moving the trees, and Kenzie picks up on this and doesn't know if she like either already found something or if she just like isn't trying hard and just waiting to, I believe it, like Kenzie said, just waiting for to be around when someone finds it to have that tea. Charlie congratulates Maria on having her moment last night. He understands this has made her a huge threat in the game. He asks her about Q and, what her opinion is, and she said she wants to trust him for one more vote and use him as a number. This is where we start to see Charlie beginning to think that his route might be diverging from Maria. Obviously, they have been, together since the beginning. They have made all these moves basically together. So, Charlie thinking about possibly steering away from him and Maria. Liz tells Kenzie about Maria's final five. Liz and Kenzie talk to Venus about getting Maria out, and then Venus brings this up to Charlie to get her out as well. So then obviously Charlie talks with Venus and Kenzie about Q being in Maria's pocket, and Charlie says he's been building relationships in case he wants to make a move on Maria, which seems like that's the direction that he is wanting to go as of right now. But obviously, it depends on the immunity challenge. So there's going to be an immunity challenge with a reward. The reward is a pizza delivery back at camp. Charlie actually does jump out to a big lead. Venus was struggling at the beginning, but able to come back and make up some major time. Comes down, everyone has a shot to win it. Venus came so close about 3 or 4 times and had the ball hit like the final you had to get the ball in the final net at the end of the immunity challenge and hit it on the last go round there and just didn't fall, and Maria ends up winning immunity. So the whole strategy at the beginning of this episode then basically goes out the window. Then choosing people for the reward, Maria prefaces all this, which I think is what makes the next 2 to 3 minutes of this episode kind of don't know how you defend it. Maria prefaces her choices with wanting to choose people who absolutely like need the food and haven't ate much or haven't been on a reward. So she chooses Ben at first, like, okay, that checks out. But then Charlie and Kenzie take themselves out. Charlie, I think that was just a smart strategic move since he already now sees like, hey, I can't take this shot at Maria tonight, so I need to do something to kind of get in good graces. So like, I'm going to take myself out. And then Kenzie, obviously, she had just went on the Applebee's reward, so she's like, I'm good, like, I'm going to take myself out. SQ, Liz, and Venus to make their case. They all are kind of like, I mean, what are you going to say in that time? They all kind of say the same thing, like, hey, like, You make the decision that's best for you, and it'll be fine. So this is the part that really gets me. She tells Liz and Q to play rock paper scissors for who gets to come on the reward. Like what? To make it worse, Q ends up winning. But this is kind of contradictory to saying that she wants to take people who need to eat. But then you had Q, who was just on the Applebee's reward. In real time here, like 2 days ago, in the game of Survivor, like if that, like it just doesn't even make any sense. If you were pulling that and you wanted to preface it with how you prefaced it, then have Liz and Venus play rock paper scissors. I still don't like that precedent either. Like just you can say like, hey, I'm having a hard time making this decision. Like to be honest, I'm deciding from you. Like this is why I'm deciding. Blah blah blah. But then you make the decision. It's your decision. Don't be like, let's flip a coin, play rock paper scissors. Do this. Like that doesn't make any sense at all. And um, I think that could come back around later in this game. I have a strange feeling. I don't know. I don't know why. I just have a strange feeling about it. I don't know why. That just rubbed me the wrong way, how that all went down. Then, Venus kind of said what I was thinking back at camp, that she'd respect her more if she just picked these people. She picked them instead of, going the way she went with picking it. Like, it's pretty obvious now that, Maria and Q have a tight relationship and, have been working together. And, Charlie even says back at camp that, he thinks that Q is Maria's number one. And then I think it was Venus that said, she went from being hero to villain real quick. So the consensus right now is to get Q out. Because if you can't vote out Maria, you vote out her supposed number one ally, if not her number two ally, probably right now in this game, if it's not Charlie. Maria says, if looks could kill, I got slaughtered today. Specifically by Liz, I believe she was talking about here. And I'm like, don't try to defend this. There's really no defending this, to be honest. I don't know why that this move and how it went down, I don't know, just didn't like how it went down. Q says in a confessional, I shouldn't have went on this reward. I just ate and had like 23 slices of pizza here today, and starts laughing. Says it's not fair. Q pitches getting Venus out. Q tells Charlie when they get back to camp that the real plan is getting Venus out. He knows people are going to bring up his name. Maria tried to explain her choices, and man, the Venus eye rolls are iconic. Liz isn't really having any of either. Brings it back around and starts going like, oh, like, why would you choose Q? Like, and they try to stop her because Q actually kind of walks by in the background. She's like, I'm done, like, not speaking up for what I'm thinking, and, continues on to the conversation. Maria and Liz talk to try to work through it. Maria tells her that wants to get Venus out, and Liz said, I really don't, know Venus's game. Don't know if I can trust her. And all I'm thinking in my head is, Venus, please play this idol. Venus and Charlie talk about the final four. Venus says she's got something up her sleeve, but won't reveal anything. But I think this is a bad move from Venus because now this raises some red flags in Charlie's mind. Charlie tries to get Venus to budge, like, what do you mean you have up your sleeve? Or what do you mean someone has an advantage? However, she, worded it there, and doesn't budge, and this just kind of makes Charlie a little more suspicious of her. And then Venus is saying in her confessionals how she doesn't want to use the immunity idol right now, and I'm just thinking in my head, there's no way we can have three people in a row go out with an idol in their pocket. Charlie and Kenzie talk, and she's like, I want Q, but she thinks the guys want Venus because they'll feel more safe with Q still in the game. But if Venus goes, then Kenzie feels like she'll be less safe in the game. Charlie's worried that working with Maria and Q might tank his game. So we head to tribal council. Jeff brings his cushion again, but he brings licorice this time. This time doesn't give them each a piece like he gave them each a piece of popcorn. He gives them one piece of licorice to divide up between everyone on the tribe. Venus versus Q and Maria again going at it, about the process of the reward. And that's what I give Venus, and why I would love to see her play again in this game is, she's not afraid to speak her mind. And I would love to see her in Season 50, which we'll talk about that more in the future. Liz kind of goes at Q again. Just, I like Liz. She's just going to speak her mind. And, especially now, she's like, I'm done not speaking up and saying what I'm thinking. And, she does that, just kind of says how she feels about Q and the whole situation that happened today. With that reward at the immunity challenge today, Venus and Q go back and forth again. And going into vote, Venus, please play your idol. But this was something that Ben brought up, describing how each crew, or a crew that votes together in one tribal council for one vote, probably isn't working together again the next week. And that kind of brought me back and reminded me of from a season, shoot, probably 10, 15 seasons ago. I forget what season it was, and I know it's going to bother me, so I'll go look it up after this. But where they called it a trust cluster. I believe, was it Millennials Gen X, I believe, where we got the trust cluster term. I don't know. I'll have to double check that. Y'all know what I'm talking about, but the trust cluster where it's like just finding a group of people you can trust for this week, make a vote, okay, move on. Find people I can trust this week to get me to next week. And honestly, I think that's the best Survivor. I think this, stretch of really like this episode 11, really the last like five ish, 6 episodes really have been incredible. This is like peak Survivor. No one trusts anyone. There's rivalries going on. There's not like one, like, yes, Charlie's won 2 immunity idols, but there's not like a dominant, like if Hunter would stay in the game and won like, 3 of the last 5 immunity challenges or something like that. There's nothing like that going on. This is when Survivor is at its peak, and I love it. So we get the votes in, and Venus goes out, and that makes 3 straight survivors voted out with an idol in their pocket. And man, what is wrong with idols this year? And then on a personal note, there goes my winner pick for the season, Venus going out. But given how she looked at the beginning of the season, I got to tip your hat to Venus for making it this far in the game with some of the, if you've seen any of her tweets the night of the episode here on Wednesday night, kind of some of the misconceptions going around about her on the season. I know she was like, and I can't wait to watch. She's like, I cannot wait for my interviews tomorrow about, how there was just rumors going on about her the whole season, and, people just ran with them, and, none of it was really true. And that kind of, hurt her game in the long run. And I said that earlier in the season, that was what was kind of getting her behind the 8 ball that I think was, unwarranted. But I would love to see her back. I would love to see her back in season 50. And I think, she would be hopefully better suited with a different cast, and hopefully a new cast doesn't, just place these assumptions on her, right away and put her behind the 8 ball already going in if she does get that second shot in, say season 50 or another season. But looking at a stock check right now, I think right now it's clearing away Maria and Charlie as the, 2 favorites to win the game right now. I think if Charlie and Maria are both there, I think as of right now, Maria edges out Charlie. But obviously, we don't know how these last, couple weeks are going to go. But right now, I'd give Maria the slight edge over Charlie. If Charlie's able to take her out, anywhere between, 6 and, before that final 3, then I think Charlie's able to get it done against, everyone else in the game at this point. But obviously, that's why you had to play out the rest of this game. And then I do think there's a path, to see Kenzie possibly win this game as well. But as of right now, I got Charlie and Maria at 1 and 2 right now. Kenzie kind of a distant, third option if it's not one of those two to win the game at this point. But obviously, I still think it's kind of wide open. I think any of these can win, especially, depending on how the next 2 vote outs go going into that, really final 4 fire making challenge, and, see what happens. But anyway, another exciting episode. Looking forward to next week. I think we got 2 episodes left. I think we got the final 6 next week, and then we'll have the finale, the final 5 the week after that. So I believe 2 more weeks left before the finale. Looking forward to it. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.